Hey there, future CMAs. Welcome to today's explainer. As a teacher who has spent way too many hours dissecting the CMA syllabus, I know exactly where students tend to get tripped up on this exam. My absolute priority is helping you clear those hurdles with total confidence. So today, we're taking a topic that some folks find a bit dry, general accounting system controls, and turning it into something perfectly logical and honestly super easy to master. Now, why are we focusing on this? Internal controls make up a solid 15% of your exam score. Securing these points can easily be the difference between passing on your first try and having to retake the exam. We are going to make sure you secure every single one of those points by genuinely understanding the concepts rather than just rote memorizing them. Today, we're going over the secure house analogy, the big divide between general and application controls, the 4 ITGC pillars, a quick pop quiz, and wrap up with the golden rules. Let's dive right in. Part 1. The secure house analogy. To really get this, I love mapping these IT concepts onto everyday stuff. Think about building a secure house. IT general controls, or ITGCs, they're the thick concrete slab, the sturdy framing holding everything up. Application controls, on the other hand, are just the individual locks on specific doors and windows. You need both to stay safe, obviously, but they're doing entirely different structural jobs. And here is exactly why this matters for your exam. If your foundation cracks, it literally doesn't matter how fancy those window locks are, right? The whole house can just slide away. Translated to system terms, if your general controls are weak, your specific transaction level controls simply cannot be trusted. Which brings us to part 2, the big divide. Let's look at how this actually plays out in a company. General controls oversee the big picture, your entire network, the databases, all the software interacting together. But application controls are hyper-focused. They're narrow rules built directly into one specific program, like your accounts payable software, just to make sure the data being typed in is completely accurate. You know, the CMEA exam loves testing if you can spot the difference between these two in a real-world scenario. So, say a company restricts physical access so only authorized folks can enter the main server room. That's a general control. Why? Because it's protecting the broader overarching environment. It secures the whole house. But what if the system throws up an alert because a clerk accidentally enters the exact same invoice twice? Or what if it physically blocks someone from typing letters into a numbers-only invoice field? That right there is an application control. It's a highly specific transaction-level lock on one single window of the house. All right, part 3. The 4 pillars keeping those systems secure. To completely crush your multiple-choice questions, you've got to memorize these 4 pillars of IT general controls: logical access, change management, system development, and computer operations. These are the structural supports keeping everything stable. Let's break them down one by one. Pillar 1 is logical access. This is all about answering one simple question: who gets in? You're ensuring only authorized users can access systems and data. We're talking strict password requirements, multi-factor authentication, and having a really solid formal user provisioning process for when new people join the team. Now here is a massive exam tip for you. Pay close attention to segregation of duties here. You absolutely must make sure that the person writing the system code never, ever has access to run transactions in the live production environment. We all know developers who love to tweak things on the fly, but if someone can write code and process live payments, yeah, that's a gigantic fraud risk. Moving on to Pillar 2, change management. This dictates how systems get updated, customized, or fixed. The golden rule here is no direct pushes to live databases. I don't care how senior the person is. Every single change has to be formally requested, tested safely in a sandbox environment, and explicitly approved by management before it goes live. Then we have Pillar 3, the System Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. This kicks in when a company is building or buying brand new software, like a massive new general ledger system. Following a structured SDLC guarantees that the new tech actually does what the business needs it to do, goes through rigorous bug testing, and deploys securely without crashing the existing network. Finally, Pillar 4 is computer operations. This is the day-to-day grind of keeping the lights on. It covers daily maintenance, keeping an eye on batch processing runs, and performing regular off-site backups. Because if that server room we mentioned earlier actually catches fire, these backup controls and a clear disaster recovery plan are exactly what will save the company from total ruin.
Okay, part 4. Time for a quick CMA pop quiz.
Let's put on our auditor hats for a second. Imagine a junior accountant bypasses the secure network, logging into the payroll server from their personal PC at home, no VPN, no multi-factor authentication. What just failed? Is it A, application controls, B, output controls, C, general system controls, or D, processing controls? Take a second to deduce the right answer. If you went with option C, General Accounting System Controls, give yourself a huge pat on the back. You nailed it. That is exactly how the exam wants you to think. Let's make sure we totally understand the why here, though. The accountant logged into the entire server. That's a broad, environmental-level failure of logical access. It wasn't a glitch in a narrow transaction rule inside the payroll software itself. It was the foundation that failed, hence a general control issue. And that brings us to part 5, the golden rules. Let's lock this learning in. Your golden rules are super simple. Rule 1, general controls govern the broader environment. Rule 2, application controls govern specific data, ensuring individual inputs are valid. And Rule 3, a failure in IT general controls compromises absolutely everything else. Keep this truth in your back pocket for exam day. If an auditor finds weak general controls, they simply cannot rely on the system's automated application controls. Like we said, nobody trusts those fancy window locks if the foundation of the house is crumbling underneath them. You've absolutely got this. Trust your preparation. To get ready for our next explainer together, ask yourself, are you ready to conquer those specific application controls next? We're going to dive deep into things like limit checks and check digits. So stay focused, keep studying hard, and I will catch you in the next one.